Mussolini, the dream of a Roman Empire and the North African disaster. From the ambition of revival to the humiliation of having to beg Hitler for help. Part 1. Mussolini, a romantic in the fascist world. Benito Mussolini, in the world of fascism, where violence, steel, and war reign, he nonetheless carried the soul of a dreamer, a strangely romantic man. Mussolini did not merely want to be the leader of Italy, he wanted to become a new Caesar, a modern Roman emperor. In his fiery speeches, he constantly repeated one dream: the Roman Empire will rise again through my own hands. But then, in 1940, all the glory in Europe did not belong to Mussolini, it belonged to someone else, a failed painter from Germany, Adolf Hitler. Part 2, Hitler and the Intoxication of Victory, Mussolini left behind. In less than a year, Hitler crushed Poland, occupied Northern Europe, smashed the Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, and then France, one of Europe's leading powers, collapsed like a sandcastle. The whole world trembled. Hitler's name became the nightmare of the old continent. Meanwhile, Mussolini only watched, overshadowed, left behind. He began to feel like a nobody on the political stage, a subordinate merely following Nazi Germany, and that was unbearable. Mussolini grew impatient, Mussolini grew jealous, and Mussolini began to calculate. Part 3. The Mediterranean Dream. RC. One day, Mussolini stood before a map of the Mediterranean. He looked down toward North Africa, a land that had once been the lifeblood of the ancient Roman Empire. And in his eyes, it was the perfect stage. Libya, the Italian colony seized in 1911, was not enough. Mussolini wanted more. He wanted Egypt, a fat prize, a quick victory, a symbol of rebirth. Egypt at that time belonged to Britain, and most importantly, there was the Suez Canal, the route connecting the Mediterranean to India, the greatest jewel of the British Empire. If Italy seized Suez, Britain would be cut off from its vital maritime lifeline. The British fleet in the Mediterranean would be paralyzed, and Mussolini would become the master of the sea he called Mare Nostrum, RC. In his mind, it would be the moment Italy stood equal to Germany and Japan. A new empire would be born. Part 4. The harsh reality. The Italian army was large, but weak. On paper, Italy seemed superior. In Libya, Mussolini had nearly 236,000 troops, while Britain and Egypt had only about 36,000, including British, Australian, and Indian forces. But there was a fatal problem. The Italian army was large but outdated, lacking tanks, lacking trucks, lacking logistics, lacking mechanized capability. They were like a World War I army thrown into modern warfare. The commander of the campaign was Marshal Rodolfo Graziani, and he understood clearly, we are not ready. But Mussolini did not care. He forced Graziani to advance. Part 5. The Invasion of Egypt. A reluctant campaign. On September 13, 1940, Italian forces crossed the Libyan border into Egypt. But this was not blitzkrieg like Germany. No speed, no steel power. The Italian army moved sluggishly, almost on foot. Average speed, 10 kilometers per day. They seized a few border towns such as Solum Fort Capuzzo and advanced to Sidi Barrani. By September 16, Italy had penetrated about 95 kilometers into Egypt, then stopped, not because of victory, but because they ran out of fuel, short of food, short of trucks, morale collapsing. Graziani ordered a halt and established scattered defensive camps across the desert. The distance between positions stretched dozens of kilometers. A deadly mistake. The Italians were not fighting a war. They were as if on a camping trip, and the price would come immediately. Part 6. Operation Compass, the counterattack that became a disaster. In December 1940, the British launched a counteroffensive, Operation Compass. At first, it was only meant as a small raid, but when they saw the Italians deployed so loosely, the British decided, we will crush them. Britain had Matilda II tanks, armor nearly invulnerable. Cruiser tanks with mobility. The Royal Air Force controlling the skies. One Italian position after another was attacked and destroyed. Nibewa Tomar West, Tomar East, and finally Sidi Barrani. Because the camps were so far apart, Italian forces could not reinforce each other. They were defeated in clusters. Tens of thousands of Italian soldiers were captured alive. The fragile L-3 tanks were crushed under Matilda tracks. The Italian Air Force was completely outmatched. The British surged like a storm through Libya. Bardia fell. Tobruk fell, Derna fell, Benghazi fell. Italy was pushed back more than 1,000 kilometers. Total losses, 130,000 troops captured, nearly all tanks and artillery destroyed. Cyrenaica lost entirely. This was considered the greatest military disaster in modern Italian history. Part 7. Mussolini collapses. The humiliation of having to beg Hitler. When Benghazi fell, Mussolini was stunned. In the diary of Galeazzo Ciano, his son-in-law, it was recorded, Mussolini said nothing. He only whispered, "We have fallen into the deepest abyss." The dream of a revived Rome shattered. The most painful reality was, Italy was forced to beg Hitler for help. Mussolini sent telegrams. "The situation in North Africa is serious to the point of alarm. I request urgent support from the Führer." Another one, "I have made a mistake by opening this front too early." In a direct meeting, Mussolini turned pale and said, "I need your help," a humiliating sentence, but there was no other choice. Part 8. Hitler reluctantly, the Sunflower Campaign. Hitler did not want to send troops to North Africa. He was preparing the greatest campaign of his life, Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union. But if Italy collapsed, Britain would dominate the Mediterranean. The Balkans would be threatened. Southern Europe could be opened wide. Hitler was forced to act. He ordered Operation Sonnenblume, Sunflower, sending in an elite force to Libya, and the man chosen was Erwin Rommel. Part 9. Rommel, the Desert Fox, appears. In February 1941, the first units of the Afrika Korps landed in Tripoli. 5th Panzer Division, 15th Light Division, Panzer III and IV tanks, self-propelled artillery, German air support. The Italians thought Germany came only to defend, but Rommel did not. He studied the map. He saw British supply lines stretched more than 800 kilometers, and he said, "We attack immediately." Rommel fought by 3 principles: high-speed mechanization, striking weak points unexpectedly, never letting the enemy breathe. He used deception, dummy tanks, desert dust to mislead. And then Rommel launched a lightning counterattack. Part 10. The tide turns. Rommel saves Italy in 30 days. On March 24, 1941, Rommel retook El Agheila. Then Ajdabiya fell to Germany. The British panicked. In only a few weeks, Rommel swept the British out of Cyrenaica. What Italy could not achieve in 3 months, Rommel achieved in 30 days. The map of North Africa was completely reversed. Mussolini was saved. But at what cost? The whole world saw clearly. Italy survived only thanks to Germany. Mussolini was both grateful and bitter. He admitted in a closed meeting, "I never thought we would have to rely on the Germans to save us." The dream of a revived Roman Empire was now only a shadow. Ending. The North African tragedy has only just begun. Rommel's arrival turned North Africa into a legendary battlefield, but it was also where an even greater tragedy would unfold. Bloodier battles, heavier defeats, and Mussolini's fate would sink even further. And the Desert War had only just begun. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you found it useful, don't forget to leave a comment and watch more videos on the channel to support us. Goodbye, and see you again in the next videos.